Hi, how are you? Today I am reviewing Canon EOS Rebel SL3 review. 2-minute review. Introduction. The Canon EOS Rebel SL3, also known as the EOS 250D, is the latest in the company's lineup of ultra-compact DSLR cameras, and comes with a 24MP APS-C sensor that has accurate and easy-to-use dual-pixel autofocus. Key specifications. 24MP APS-C sensor with dual-pixel on-sensor autofocus. Optical viewfinder with secondary 9-point autofocus system. 4K video recording, with 1.7x crop. Fully articulating rear touchscreen. Excellent guide mode for beginners. Wi-Fi with Bluetooth for image transfer and remote camera control. Impressive 1070 shot battery life, CP rating, using optical viewfinder. Passable 320 shot battery life, CP rating, in live view with dual pixel AF. Even as the most compact DSLR model Canon offers, the Rebel SL3 shares its sensor, processor and much of its feature set with Canon's existing, and much smaller, EOS M series of mirrorless cameras. So why would you opt for the SL3 over, say, the Canon EOS M50, which will offer almost identical image quality? It comes down to a handful of personal preferences, particularly when it comes to viewfinders. The SL3 has an optical viewfinder, compared to mirrorless cameras' electronic ones. Controls and features. The SL3 is small enough so almost all of its physical controls are located on the right side of the body. The exception, menu and info buttons, sit at the top left corner of the rear plate, above the LCD and to the left of the eye cup. The record button is located right next to the eye cup. You won't be able to press it easily with the camera to your eye, but you'll be using the rear LCD to frame video, so its location is fine. The buttons you're likely to use with the camera to your eye are more accessible. Focus point selection and AL, marked with an asterisk icon, are at the right, in the area which is raised up to create an indentation for a thumb rest. The Avenue, F button is just below the indentation. It's used to adjust EV compensation in most modes, and to toggle between aperture and shutter control when working in manual. Connectivity and power. The SL3 includes Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, and works with Android and iOS phones and tablets via the Canon Camera Connect app. The Bluetooth connection speeds up the pairing process, and Wi-Fi allows you to transfer photos and videos to your phone, or to use it as a remote control. The battery is rated for about 1070 shots using the optical finder or about 320 using live view based on CP testing standards. Battery life is one area where SLRs still have an advantage over mirrorless cameras, at least when shopping for models in this price class. The SL3's strong battery life certainly makes the omission of in-camera charging less of a real-world concern. Autofocus and burst shooting. The SL3 powers on, focuses, and capture an image in about a half second, plenty of speed to grab a candid shot. In bright light the focus is very quick to lock onto a static subject, doing so and capturing a photo in less than 0.05 second. In very dim light the focus time extends, requiring about 0.3 second to nab focus with the kit lens, which is par for the course for an entry-level SLR. Imaging and video. Imatist shows that the camera keeps noise under 1.5% when capturing JPGs through ISO 6400. Quality loss sets in a little earlier, with very slight smudging visible at ISO 800 and 1600. Image quality takes a step back at ISO 3200, with some blur noticeable there through ISO 12800. The blur is stronger at the top ISO 25600 and 51200 settings. RAW capture is also an option for more advanced photographers. RAW images show good detail through ISO 6400, albeit with some grain. The grain is heavier at ISO 12800 and at ISO 25600, but image quality holds up. Shooting at ISO 51200 results in an image with a very rough, grainy look, but that setting is only available if you dive into a menu and turn it on. Canon EOS Rebel SL3, Design. The smallest and lightest DSLR on the market, as of April 2019, the Canon EOS Rebel SL3 measures 4.82 by 3.65 by 2.75 inches and weighs 15.84 ounces with battery and card. Although it's light, there's enough heft to the body that it feels well balanced, even when the kit lens is fully extended. The SL3 is available in black or white, and features a deep grip that's comfortable for both smaller and larger hands. Articulated touchscreen. Canon is one of the few companies that seems to realize the importance of a fully articulated monitor and, despite being an entry-level model, the SL3 features a side-hinged touchscreen LCD, like its predecessors have. Since the monitor can be adjusted to any angle needed, it's perfect for capturing overhead or low-to-the-ground shots, as well as selfies. Vloggers will especially love this feature. Canon EOS Rebel SL3, Handling. External buttons are clearly labeled, and the menu system is well organized and easy to navigate. Better yet, users have a choice of a standard menu or Canon's guided display. The latter uses text and visuals to show what each setting does. For example, when the camera is set to TV on the mode dial, time value or shutter speed priority, the monitor displays a slider to adjust the shutter speed, showing an icon of a blurry person running at the lower end of the shutter speed and a sharp, frozen running person at the other end. This visual communication on how shutter speed affects a moving subject is clear, concise and easily understood. Canon EOS Rebel SL3, Image Quality. I tested the camera with the kit EF-S 18 to 55mm IS STM kit lens. Images were colorful, with just the right amount of saturation and vividness. I shot test images with the standard picture style settings, but optional picture styles, auto, neutral, portrait, landscape and more, settings can be tweaked to adjust parameters such as saturation, sharpness, contrast, etc. And, if you decide that you want to add a little style after the fact, you can use the Creative Assist feature to adjust saturation or apply tones, sepia, blue and others, to your raw images and save them as new JPEGs. It's a fun way to explore different options without losing your original files. Canon EOS Rebel SL3, Battery Life. Although the SL3 uses the same battery as its predecessor, the new camera's DIGIC 8 processor increases battery life more than twofold, to between 1000 to 1600 images, depending on whether you use flash, etc., when shooting with the optical viewfinder. Switch to live view and it drops to between 300–350, still, that's better than the 240–260 live view shots on the SL2. Canon EOS Rebel SL3, Video. The SL3 is one of the first budget DSLRs that can shoot video in 4K, but resolution isn't everything. Sure, the videos look good, with pleasing colors and generally accurate AF. But, for some reason, Canon decided to drop the 24p, 24 frames per second, for Full HD, 1920 by 1080, video, so you're left with 30p and 60p. While this may not be a big deal for most people shooting home movies, it's one of those odd omissions, since 24p is pretty much the standard for cinema, delivering nice, smooth footage. At 30p, footage, particularly of fast-moving subjects, is likely to be a little jerky. Switch to 60p, which is available for Full HD, if you're filming sports. Canon EOS Rebel SL3, Flash. Unlike the SL2's flash, which automatically pops up when there's not enough light, the SL3's flash must be manually opened. This may not be a big deal and, in fact, some might prefer not having the camera take control over when the flash fires. However, if you're a beginner, how do you know when you need flash? The only time you'll be alerted directly that a flash is needed is when the camera is set to Intelligent Auto, the green button the mode dial. It's not so much having to physically raise the flash that's an issue, rather, it's knowing when the flash is needed. That said, flash exposure was generally accurate and produced even coverage. Canon EOS Rebel SL3, Verdict. Among mirrorless cameras, The speedy Sony a6300, $498 with a 16 to 50mm lens, isn't much bigger or heavier than the Canon SL3. And while the Sony has a tiltable LCD, it doesn't fully articulate like the SL3, nor is it touchscreen capable. Given Sony's dense menu system, you'll need a little patience to navigate settings. And the Canon SL3 outperforms the a6300 when it comes to low light, high ISO shooting. Despite a few drawbacks, such as a proprietary hot shoe and a flash that must be manually activated, the Canon Rebel SL3 is a very good beginner camera, and one of the few that records video in 4K. So I highly recommend getting the Canon EOS Rebel SL3 review. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe my RS product review channel. Thank you.